12 herbs and spices. And not one slice of pizza, apparently. It is I, Menace Snowdecker. Welcome back to another YouTube video of Beyblade Land. Before I get back to my build, I have two small announcements I want to make here. First of all, as you may have noticed, I'm not showing my face on the screen this time around. I tried this in a recent video, and I decided that I didn't really like it. It was outside of my comfort zone, because it was just not what I was used to doing. That's precisely why I'm doing this today, going forward. In all my future Beyblade Minecraft videos, I will not be showing my face on screen unless I am showing something in my hand. Because I decided that I want to get outside of my comfort zone permanently. And I also decided that I want my videos to look a little bit more like the Minecraft videos of old. Where you weren't seeing people's faces on screen so much, you were looking more at their avatar or their surroundings. I thought it'd be nice for me to do that, pay that little tribute, and just do that going forward. Second of all, this is the part I don't want to admit, but I sadly have to, and it is super humiliating and embarrassing. You see this build we're currently working on, the BeyWheelz launcher, the standard model? Yeah, I made a goof, and I didn't realize I did. So I started looking at images online. This is wrong. The shaping is correct. All this stuff here is correct. But this is wrong. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I was wrong. Hello. So this is where I messed up. You see, as I was putting this stuff together, I assumed that the colors were just going to be matching. And I don't know why I thought that, because honestly, history has shown that Beyblade items and launchers don't really tend to match all the way through. They're not matchy-matchy. They're not designed to be two colors that just go together in such a unique sequence that it looks almost identical. So this one's a dark orange, this one's a bright orange. I thought, hey, you know what, maybe that goes together. Two different colors, but because of your mind and the way it works, you just assume orange goes with orange, and both of these have orange in them, so I just assumed. And I don't know why I assumed that, because I knew better. I knew history throughout Beyblade has shown that they have different colors for different stuff. So I matched this with this, and that's why I'm making words that don't seem to make a lot of sense, like match or matchy, and it makes my brain all die as I'm being attacked. The wordplay's stupid, yes, I know, but it gets to the point in the dumbest way possible. This is where I was wrong. After looking at some images online for what these came with and what I got, I managed to piece together what set this actually was. Second of all, I came to realize that this was incorrect. Yes, this is the correct shaped parts. This is not the correct colors. This is where I failed. This one does not go with that. This one goes with this one. Lime green and orange. And our dark orange ripcord here actually goes on this blue launcher. Which means I have two options here as a whole. So my two options here are A, I replace this whole middle section with blue, or B, I replace that one with a lime green color. And unfortunately, when I look through here, we do not have anything close to a lime green, which means the lime green route is off the table, which means I cannot possibly replace this with the proper color scheme, which means I have to do the other route, which is going to be way more painful, but it needs to be done. I must replace this entire middle section with a blue color scheme. And I know this is super unfortunate for me, but I want to have this stuff relatively accurate. So in order to keep it relatively accurate, this is what I have to do. Considering that I've already come this far building this entire model, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the shape. And then I'm going to replace each and every block with a proper blue color scheme. I think that this would be the fastest route that I could possibly take. And quite frankly, it's the only route that I could possibly take here at this point. I mean, I could start replacing it. I could do that. But we're not done building this yet. And we've already come this far. I've already come this far, so I don't see a point replacing the color scheme right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finish building this. And then I'll replace each and every color to one relatively close to what it should be. But I'll only do that after we finish this. So that's what I'm going to do right here and now. So it doesn't matter that I use different blocks. I'm going to be changing this eventually anyways. One of the hardest things for a person to admit is when they are wrong. And unfortunately here, I was horribly wrong. Now, I'm sorry to everyone. I thought I had it right the first time around when I was starting to build it and put it all together. But I was horribly wrong. I should have done a little bit more research. I don't know anything about BeyWheelz. I only know a little bit here and there. I've never seen the anime. I just found out that there were at least 3 seasons that got released as of late. In fact, I'm going to look that up real quick because I am curious. I want to know a little bit more about this. Just a moment. Oh wait, nope. Okay, not 3 seasons. It was 1 season and a 13 episode spin-off. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just doing some reading. I froze up there because I got confused. It says here that there's 1 main season, and there might be a 2nd season as well called Bay Warriors, aka Bay Raiders, with another 13 episodes, which brings up to 26. So at least 2 seasons for BeyWheelz. I don't know, deeply confusing. There's a lot of Beyblade stuff out there that I don't really know about. But that's not my focus right now. My focus right now is fixing this. It's going to get a little bit darker in here, so I do apologize. Any chance I could / give myself night vision? No, I guess not. Fine, I'll have to look that up later. In the meantime, I'm going to be using a potion. I'm using the bottle one. A lot of people like using the splash version because it's faster, but it doesn't last as long. I don't like doing this now ever since they changed the color scheme. That's a bit better. It only lasts 8 minutes. This is exactly why I don't like using this stuff, because when you look at this, if I can even get the... I don't know what button shows it. I gotta spend some more time learning how to do this stuff on PC. I used to do this stuff on console a lot more, so I'm more used to that. But now that I'm on PC, a lot of the stuff that I used to do, I can't do, and there's some things I've never done before, like giving myself night vision. I mean, I just recently learned how to control the timing for the weather. That was something I never actually did originally. There are a lot of different slash commands that you can do, and there's some that even I don't know about to this very day. I know that's hard to believe, but it is true. There are just so many. Okay, so first things first, let's fix this shaping on the side here. Where does that point start? It looks like it starts right about here. So bring this all down to... because I got the shaping wrong on this last time. I got the overall shape. I didn't get this part right. Because I was just rushing through things, trying to get stuff done. Again, we're going to be replacing all of this later with a completely different color. So for the time being, that is fine. The reason why I'm deleting this section is because this is actually where the handles go for the Beyblade launcher. Your hand will stretch across here on top, and there will be two little handles here that you can press two fingers into. One of them has lines on it, the other one does not. But the ones with the lines help increase the grip on your hand so it doesn't slide off or go flying off when you go pulling the ripcord, which is actually a very nice touch to have that on a launcher. It'd be nice if more people actually knew how to actually have that stuff added on to these types of plastic launchers, because these things really do tend to be really smooth. So when you go to pull the ripcord, it just flies out of your hand sometimes. I mean, you shouldn't have to apply so much pressure just to hold on to something. Okay, so if I was to take a look here, I'd say the handle would start right about here. Would go inward. That seems about right. Now we do this to the other side as well. Now this section will get rounded out. There we go. Let me out. There we go. Okay, so that's where our our fingers would end up going. Now we just got to add in the lines that are right here. So these ones are really small, so I'm actually going to switch materials here, and I'm going to add in... Let's see, this is going to be blue later, right? So let's use waxed oxidized. That way I don't have to come back to this part ever again. Actually, can I do a different one here? Alright, there we go. Those will be our 3 little lines right there. Now, how many are on the side here? There's 11 on the side. 2 up front. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, but that seems a little bit too bulky. That's better. Off the bulky ones there in the corners, just to make it feel just a little bit better. So that gets rid of the detail that's there. Now, this section here is going to come up slightly. This is where things are getting a little bit more complex. Because this whole middle section is going to go up, and then it's going to dip right back down, right around here. So this line does not matter. We can go ahead and delete these. Alright, so let's see here. So it goes till it's about right there, then it dips right back down. This is why I don't like the night vision potions. It's just about to wear out. I've never liked using these when I build in creative. I never have, because they always tend to run out eventually. Okay, so that's not going to go all the way back, but for the time being, we're just going to build it all the way back regardless. There's another layer of detail that's going to go in there. For now, I just want to focus on this area right in here. Alright, that looks good. Delete this one. Okay. Now, how are we going to add in the details for this? This area is going to be very confusing, because this will literally turn into an arrowhead by the time we're done. And I'm not sure how to recreate that in here. I guess I'll just take it one step at a time here. trying to think, where should I start at? Guess we can start with the head. How do I recreate this in here? It's going to be tricky. It doesn't dip down too much, so I don't really want to sink this whole area down a layer, because I think that would actually look a bit silly. Actually, if I move that forward one, yeah, that's a little bit better. It gives me a little bit more space later on. That's definitely better. And then I could just put one line here. Okay, that does look like an arrowhead. So that'll work. Now this isn't fully accurate. This part is actually supposed to point backwards a little bit because, as you probably know from history, if you actually did study history, arrowheads actually have pointed sections that go backwards. And the reason why is because they're designed to go in but be difficult to pull out. However, I'm just going to signify that by doing that. Now, we have the shaft of the arrow right here. I'm not sure how to add that. Looks like this area dips down. So for this part, I will be using the slab. And then towards the back here, it'll spread off. So about right there is where it's going to end. But that's a little bit too far, so we're going to go in one. Now we'll sink this section down. And that will give us the layer of detail that we need for our arrow. I can see that working. Looks a little bit more like a shovel, though. If I just put one more up there, make a handle. Just saying, kind of looks like a shovel. Now then, there are 5 individual lines here. One starts right here, and then there's 4 more going back. Then there's a thick section back here. So that gives us 6 individual lines in between. So let's see if we can add in 6 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, That's close enough, I guess. This one's supposed to be a little bit separate, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to separate that from here. Can't add in all the details I want to add. But that is a good start. Alright, this area is going to raise up a little bit. And looking at the rest of this, the rest of that's actually going to either match that shape or it's going to dip down. So this area looks like it's about the same height. Now, I could just replace all this with blue, but quite frankly, I don't think that would be all that smart. I just came to realize there's another piece of detail I didn't add here that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. There's a small arrow right here, and it points in that direction. But it's super thin. It's almost about as thin as the space here between these two blocks. In fact, if I were to make this actual thing in here, it would literally just be 2 pixels wide. I'm not joking, it's that thin. So I think I'm just going to skip that detail, unfortunately, even though I would very much like to add it. And then there's also 2 triangles right here. But we can't add those fully, so I'm just going to do these on the side to signify that that's where they went. Now, there is a bit of detail back here we're not going to be able to add, unfortunately. There's a line here signifying the ripcord and an arrow signifying that it's inserted through here. But it literally sits right on this part, and I can't add all that detail, so we're just not going to add that. There is, however, one that we might be able to add. There's 2 lines that go on here. You know what? That should work. Yeah, sure. Let's just go with that. That's actually very close. And then we go back here. This part goes upward, and it's going to branch back a little bit. In fact, I might just raise this up even more. Matches the side, though. So actually, see, this is what I mean by this is getting really confusing. I need to find a different way to go about this. Because that's not going to work. As much as I want that to work, that's not going to work. Let me think here. What would be the best way to go about this? I think that might be it. Okay. Yeah, that's probably going to be the best way I can go about this. I'm not seeing any other way I can add that level of detail in there. There's two lines that go through here as well. They're super thin, but they are there. And I think that's it. I think that's all the detail we can actually add in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start replacing all of this except for the launcher. The launcher's ripcord. I'm getting terms confused in my head. I'm going to go start changing everything except the launcher's ripcord with blue. We don't have a lot of good blue parts in here, so I'm just going to use the Prismarine because that's probably the smoothest one we have. And shockingly, probably the closest thing we have to the proper color scheme. However, for this one, I can actually use the light blue, which will make it slightly more accurate. I have to literally replace all this. Major bummer. Good riddance. Just go ahead and let that thing end. I gotta look up a slash command on how I can apply night vision. I'm pretty sure there is one. I just don't currently know it. So I think I'll do that later today. That way next time around I can start applying that without having to use a potion. The sheer fact that I have to replace every single one of this that shows on the outside is just super sad. I know it's going to be dark on your screen. I'm sorry, but I do not feel like drinking one more potion. The reason why I don't like using the potions is because when you have to do it again and again while you're constructing and recording something, it gets old real quick. And there are some other content creators I used to watch when I was a kid that would do builds in Minecraft, and they would apply potions regularly. I actually felt sorry watching them do that, because they'd go start building something, they'd get into their zone, their mood, and they're like, oh, I gotta apply another night vision potion. And they'll just be in the air, and then they gotta put their body against the build, or look straight up and throw it in the air and just wait for one to land. It's irritating, it's nerve-wracking. And they wouldn't edit anything when they started recording. They would just go through the motions and just accept that was just going to be in the video. And they would always use the splash potions because it was faster to apply. But quite frankly, the drinking one lasts longer. So this one lasts 8 minutes, and if you look at the splash version... Oh, they changed it. They changed the times. It used to be different. It used to be different. That's intriguing. I guess Mojang fixed that. I'm actually kind of surprised that they fixed that. I honestly thought it was going to be the same way it was for probably years to come. You see, even I can't keep up anymore. Mojang's making so many changes to Minecraft that I cannot keep track of what they're doing anymore. And now apparently I hear that they're trying to revise the zombie skin for the baby zombie. They've already changed the skins for the baby chicks, so it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it is nice to have some more diversity, but I kind of like the way things were. I think the majority of the Minecraft community agrees with me there. But at the same time, I do like seeing the changes. It is a bit nice. I just wish they would stop doing the mob votes. No offense. They've only ever led to bickering and arguing. At least from what I've seen. I mean, I remember playing in Minecraft before Phantoms were even a thing, and after Phantoms got added, everybody was just having nightmares. Everybody complaining, why did we vote for this? You know, that's a good question. Why did you guys vote for that? I know I certainly didn't. I mean, there are some animals that did get added to Minecraft due to the mob vote that I do like having around. The panda being one of them. That one's a favorite of mine. But then there are some like the armadillo that I could easily just live without. I mean, I like armadillos. I do. But I don't think that that was the right pick for that year. I think the pick that year should have been the crab. The crab was the major one that we needed. And unfortunately, that's not what people voted for. They voted for the armadillo because they... I mean, I understand why they voted for it. They were tired of seeing their dogs die. But in short, dog armor was not going to be the long-term solution. So I don't know why they thought it would be. I mean, wolves are vicious. They tend to go right for their prey. They do not hesitate. So the fact that everyone's sad, they're like, oh my gosh, my dogs are still dying. This was a waste. They tend to forgot that Minecraft was built on building first. So they should have actually logically picked the crab, and I thought more people would, but guess not. I mean, I do understand where they're coming from. It is always sad seeing your pet die in Minecraft. It's heartbreaking, actually. In fact, there was a mod somebody made. I don't remember who made it, but you could actually put your animal's soul to rest for your pet. I don't remember who made it, but it was really heartfelt. Honestly, it was the type of thing I think Mojang should have added. I find it interesting that they always have these different mods made by people that are not part of Mojang, that are not part of their mod team. I don't know, I just find it intriguing that we have all these different builders and modders who tend to make stuff better than what the actual people up there at the top are currently putting in. I've always found that interesting. I mean, I've seen all kinds of shaders over the years, for example. And I'm not saying that the one that Minecraft has now is the worst one, but I've seen better. I've seen a lot better. That being said, though, as of late, Mojang has made a few changes that I actually do approve of deeply. Some of which I've actually been complaining about for a couple years. So I can tell they are trying to fix things, they are trying to make it better, but they're still imposing a few things on it that I don't fully like. No offense, but I'm not a big fan of the new zombie skin change that they're making for the baby zombie. I prefer the old one, but I guess that's just my OG experience talking. Because I'm so used to the way that they used to look. Somewhere down the road, we all have to accept change, even if we don't want to. Honestly, I'm liking the blue a lot more than the orange. This looks a lot nicer. I didn't think I'd actually admit that, but I do like this a little bit more. I just gotta replace every speck that I actually see here. Which I will not have done by this video, unfortunately. So, at least normally, I guess I could go with another 15 minutes. I guess that's fine. In case you don't know, I like ending my videos around 45 minutes. That's always been the time frame I try to keep it by. Keyword here on try to. Yeah, it's looking a lot nicer. That's looking much nicer. Going back to what I was saying before, there was this one problem with Minecraft that I've had for quite a while. Every time I go to record it, there was this little issue when I would start recording where it would make this weird sound. And I actually record using OBS. OBS is fairly good at what it does. But there's this one little issue I kept having where I would go to start recording and there was this little sound effect that would pop up that just sounded a lot like ding! And no matter what I did, I could never get rid of that sound effect when I started recording. And eventually I just decided, you know what, it's just going to be there. I would have no choice but to edit the video at the very beginning, which was really stupid for me. It got frustrating. Because no matter what I would do, I could never fully get rid of it. Unless I did that. Even if every other section of the video was perfect, I always had to edit out that first couple seconds. And it was just such a gigantic waste of time. So I would literally go record, it would be there. And then I'd finish the video, even if everything else was perfect. Okay, let me just go ahead and just put this through my editing files and, okay, take that part out. And now we sit here waiting for 45 minutes to an hour for that thing to finish composing itself. And then we wait another 45 minutes to an hour for it to go ahead and auto-code itself. And then I gotta save it. I'm just like, holy crap, all that for one video. That is ridiculous. However, recently they made an update. And I don't know what they did, but that sound effect is no longer there. So I'm very happy that Mojang did fix that one. And I don't know how that even worked in the first place, but it would only happen on the main Minecraft screen. It would not actually appear when I was actually inside the game itself. So I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it was. But they got rid of it. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Thank you guys. Thanks a bunch. This is much nicer. Between a light blue and a desolate orange sand. Red-orange, I guess. I actually like the blue a lot more. Am I able to see that far inside? Yes, I can. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill this whole section with blue here. We're not going to be adding in the gear mechanics, because I don't feel like stripping a launcher apart just to build everything inside. But for the stuff that I am able to see, I will build. that spot. Wait, no. Now, what am I doing? It's over there. Okay, keep that spot open so I can still get out of here. There we go. And now I just replace the ones that I am able to see here. This is a lot of work. If only I had known originally, then I would have been able to save myself all this suffering. Having to go through here and replace all this is beyond frustrating. Okay. Left side done. Top side done. Right side done. Now we just got the bottom section. Again, not replacing all of it, just all that I see here. Okay, there we go. Double checking, is there any orange I can see here? No. Good. Other side. Good. That is done. And I definitely got to come back here and start doing ceiling tiles eventually, because this ruins the vibe. But that's still a thing of beauty. Ah, sorry, I was stretching. Really sore. But how about that? We now got a Beywheel launcher. With every build I put in here, I feel more and more accomplished because I look around and I just see this beautiful museum full of builds. Alright, well thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, then give it a like. If you want to see more, then please subscribe. And like always, this is Menace Snowdecker signing off. I will see you next time, so bye-bye. Have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to smile, because remember, a smile a day goes a long way. Hope to see you all back here again soon. Bye-bye!